Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'Cause we always give it one last try. Yeah, you've watched me break 1,000 times. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight. Happier tonight. Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight. Happier tonight. Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. I just wanna be happy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another stream on the channel. I hope you are all well and are having a good week. Thursday stream for me is something slightly different. I'll get into the reasoning behind that in just a minute, but yeah, if you don't follow me over on Twitter already, please make sure you go and do so. Links to everything will be in the description. Stream, as always, is sponsored by Fantasy Football Hub, which we will use throughout, and if you find it useful, there will be a link in the description which will give you 15% off access when it starts from just £1.70 a month. But there are also a few free articles and features that you can use as well. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it swinging by. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the game week. I hope everyone is well in terms of our game week last week, so our game week 28. If you haven't seen my game week 29 preview, game week 28 review video, go and watch that after. But yeah, 41 points. It was a pretty rough week for me, if I'm honest. The City boys came in well. Captaincy was on Salah. I had no shows from Aubameyang and Gundogan, who were both in my starting 11. Gundogan I wasn't particularly bothered about, but Aubameyang is a slight annoyance given that Arsenal won the game 2-1. There was a penalty, so if Aubameyang had started, likely he would have had some returns in that game. But what will be. I got a small red arrow from 15k down to 20k rank, which is fine. I didn't want to drop more than that. Happy enough to have that as my rank at the moment, but yeah, we'll keep going with it and see where we get to ahead after the blank and throughout the rest of the season. So yeah, in terms of my team for next week, I think the big talking point will be how many players do we need to put out next week for us to be in a good enough position. So at the moment, I mean, realistically, we'll swap those two around, but I am currently lining up like this. I suppose at the moment, I've got 3 gaps. So I've got 8 players. I have 2 free transfers. 2 free transfers at the moment. So I will be using both of them to bring in probably 2 Leeds players. So Rafinha and Dallas will likely come in my team. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit more detail. Let's say hello to a few of you and answer some questions. Akash, good evening. Samuli, Vinay, Cooper, Mustafa, Nuclear, FPL Giant, Satya, FPL Telling, Josh, welcome, Nuclear, Mark, James, Daniel, good evening everyone and welcome. Thank you all for joining. I know it's a bit of a different time stream, so I'm sure we won't have quite as many people as we do when we stream on a Friday, but just when we go on a Friday, I know so many other people stream at the same time. So yeah, you know, when Andy's live, when some of the other guys are all live, like it's 10 people streaming at the same time, which is not good for me because, you know, everyone watches so many streamers. I don't expect you to come and watch mine. I like to watch these guys as well. So I've tomorrow, but that's the reason we are live tonight. Trossard or Lingard? I'd have to favour Lingard out of the two. I think Trossard is a good asset, but it would be only 1 week because I think as soon as you go to next week, Lingard compete with other midfielders, the likes of Jota and etc. But Trossard is a very 1 week punt. How many clean sheets do I see this game week? So my captaincy will not be on Son and Mitchell, by the way. Might want to change that. I probably only see 2 clean sheets being kept this weekend. Max. Mike's dropping every now and then. Is that a little bit better? Let me know if that is picking it up a bit. Is it? Should be alright. Let me know if that's a bit better. Let me know if that's improved anything. Hoping that's better. Hoping that is better. Watkins or Antonio? Antonio definitely. Yeah, I'd have to pick Antonio. It's pretty simple to sort. John says he's in the top 10 in FPL. Let's have a look. If you are, that is incredible. Is better Tierney, what you think of him? Sorry, yeah, right. You think it's fine, cool. Sorry, I was going to check if John is actually in the top 10 in FPL. KDB and Jota or Salah and Gundogan? KDB and Jota or Salah and Gundogan? KDB and Jota for me on Wildcard. Definitely. I don't see value in Salah at all anymore. So yeah, thinking of bringing Odegaard in. So yeah, he was yeah, so he's rested tonight, isn't he? So in the Arsenal lineup, if you haven't seen it, there is no Odegaard. So yeah, if you want to bring him in ahead of the blank, I think he's a really nice option. I think he's a really good option. Rested tonight, so I expect him to start. Tierney, again, I just don't see a clean sheet from him. I know he can get an attack in return, but no, none of the defenders this week, like really, I think that I need. This is the thing. So my transfers are pretty much nailed on to be Mitchell and Salah out for Rafinha and Dallas. Partly because I feel like everyone is going to own these two, and if they do what they did last, it was the double game week. If they do that and I don't own them again, it's going to kill me. But this gives me a goalkeeper choice, then 2 defenders, then 4 midfielders if Son is going to play. It seems unlikely. Then 3 strikers. So I've technically got 10 players out here. 10 players out here with then no free transfers. I could do a -4 for another midfielder in case Son doesn't play. Or I could take a -4 to bring in a defender. Again, I'm a bit like, what defender would I add to this that's worth a -4? Son to Bale for a -4 is something I'd consider, but I'd want Son back. Like Son for the Newcastle game is a good player to have. I suppose Bale for that fixture again will still be good, but if we get like confirmation that Son is out, then Son to Bale could work. Yeah, could work. Cresswell is worth a -4. Like, I expect Arsenal to score in that game, like I do. Yeah, I expect Arsenal to score in that game. So Cresswell, how high is his ceiling? Then I probably wouldn't bring in, him for a -4. So yeah, so I don't see any defender that's worth a -4. Will Bertrand Traore be fit? I haven't heard anything either way on him. I'd wait for the press conference, which will be tomorrow, I think. I don't think it was today. I know there was some today, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I haven't had time to catch up on them today. No, it wasn't. So it will be tomorrow. Which two should I bring in out of Dunk, Veltman and Dallas? So I would go with Dallas and Dunk. If you can't afford the two expensive ones there, then I would go Dallas and Veltman. Dallas worth a -4. I think he's the closest to being worth it. I understand this theory that it's technically worth a -2, but they still have to return 4 points for it to be worth it. It just means that the player, if he blanks, okay, you lose out 2 points, then yeah, I get that, but they still need a return for it to be worthwhile. Son to Alba for a -4, worth it. I'd wait and see how many minutes Aubameyang plays tonight. If his minutes are reduced tonight and he doesn't play the full 90, then maybe. But after this game week, Son is by far the better pick again, and I wouldn't want Aubameyang in my team. I know I've got him, but by game week 31, he will not be in my team anymore. So I'd think again about doing Son to Aubameyang this week. You think a -4 is only worth it if you're holding... So I'm wildcarding game week 31, which then technically means that they've got to make up that -4 in 2 game weeks. So do I think Spurs versus Arsenal will be a high-scoring match? Spurs versus Arsenal. Spurs versus Villa. The thing is for me, if Spurs score, like, Kane is so likely to be involved, whereas if you look at the likes of Rafinha, Dallas, you can easily see those teams scoring without those guys being involved, which is why my captaincy is likely to be on Harry Kane this game week, just because of his goal involvement. I don't expect Spurs to be the highest scoring team this game week, but I'd back Kane to be one of the highest scoring players because of how involved he is in everything they do. Tierney long term is really good. You see 6 clean sheets, yeah, but again, like, I'm wildcarding game week 31, so you could expect a clean sheet against Sheffield United, against Fulham, Newcastle, West Brom, Palace, Brighton. Like, there's some really good fixtures, but you also have to remember that they are prioritising the Europa League. They're prioritising the Europa League. So these fixtures, when they start to get into the later stages of the Europa, there will be rotation in the league, and it's a home fixture against West Brom is a perfect chance for him to rest Tierney. So yes, I think Arsenal have chance of clean sheets, but do I expect Tierney to play every game? Absolutely not. So is Lingard a better captain than Kane? I like Lingard as an option. I do. I don't think he's necessarily a captaincy option because West Ham aren't scoring loads of goals, and you could easily see a goal, them winning 1 or 2-0, and then easy that he only gets one return in that. So yeah, I like him as an option. I don't like him as a captaincy. My captaincy ranking is out. If you guys haven't seen it, please go and check it out because I did like a bit more of a deep dive into all the players. So my game week 29 captaincy ranking is there. Kane, Antonio, Dallas, Bale, Aubameyang, and I have reasoning for them all, positives and negatives of them. So if you haven't read that, go and do so after the stream. But yeah, thoughts on Odegaard? He seems rotation proof. Yeah, I think Odegaard is a good pick. Again, Arsenal players long term, it's not something I love, because there's going to be rotation with the Europa League. Like, there will be rotation. Now, Odegaard looks to be playing in every important game. Now, Arsenal you'd expect to go through tonight, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, it's the issue with Arsenal and any of their players. Would I bring in Brewster for a -4 to fund and keep Aubameyang long term? So I don't know who's coming in for Brewster, but you're effectively bringing in Aubameyang for a -4 this week using 2 transfers. I just don't see that as worth it. I don't know who you're selling to get Aubameyang, but I'd probably just favour going someone cheaper. Wait to see what we hear on Saka, see how many minutes, go Odegaard rather than taking a -4 and going Aubameyang, to be honest, because as an Aubameyang owner, I am not confident he starts this weekend. Do I see West Ham keeping a clean sheet? I'd probably, if I had to predict, I'd probably say no, if I'm honest, but it's a pretty tight affair. I only can be confident of a clean sheet in the Brighton-Newcastle game. So yeah, I can only really be confident of a clean sheet in that Brighton-Newcastle game, if I'm honest, out of all the players. Get the lad to 4K, appreciate it. Yeah, it seems like quite stream, so you guys want to ask like really specific questions about your teams, go for it. We are 45 subscribers away from hitting 4,000, so I was hoping to hit it before the game week deadline. Probably looks unlikely now, but yeah. So is bringing in Cresswell still worth it because he gets assists? If it's for free, then yeah, but I wouldn't be bringing in Cresswell for the wouldn't bring him in for a hit. Yusuf, welcome. Good evening, Eddie. Your predicted score line for each game this week: Leeds, Fulham, 1-1. Brighton, Newcastle, 1-0 Brighton. West Ham, Arsenal, 2-1 West Ham, and then 2-1 Spurs. Again, they're very close. Like, yes, I predict a Brighton clean sheet, but if Wilson is declared fit to play, I'm not confident enough on that to take a -4 to get Duncan, if I'm honest. This week is FA Cup. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is. 6 players, including Bamford and Son, with no Kane. 1 free transfer. How many hits would I do? Well, I do a -4 if you can get that 6 up to 8 and get Harry Kane in. Son to Bale for a -4. This is the thing, like, Bale scores, great, like, then your hits paid off. But going forward, it's a pretty tough call between the two of them. Son to Bale for a -4. If like, it's confirmed that Son isn't going to play, then, yeah. If it's confirmed Son's not going to play, then maybe go for it, but Milan versus United will be a good game. I have to hope that Milan go through, but yeah, Leeds game, I know I predicted 1-1 and Dallas is third on my captaincy ranking. I think there's a good chance Leeds keep a clean sheet, and maybe that was the pessimist in me. I think Fulham have struggled for goals, particularly at home. Again, Dallas has that attacking threat. He may go back to left back now, which I suppose I didn't know the full understanding of before putting my predictions out, but yeah, it's really hard to call. I think any of the points, there will be good returns this week, and I think there'll be some poor returns. I don't think anyone will be really explosive out of the high owned players, but yeah. Watch alongs, will I do watch alongs? I mean, potentially, if it's something that you guys would be interested in, we can think about it, but it's not something that I've mentioned it in the past. I know a lot of other streamers do it. I have considered it. I don't, what match would, if it's the big matches, then other people are doing it, and people like to watch the game in person anyway. I watch the match in person most of the time anyway, so it's taking 7 players into this game risky. It depends about who they are. Like if you've got 7 including Son and Bamford. Now Bamford I expect to play. If you've got 7 including Son and I don't know who the others are, but that's at the limit of how low I'd want to be honest. What rank am I hoping? So I'm hoping to finish top 10k. My aim is top 10k now. I think top 20k I'd be happy with. Top 10k would be really what I'm aiming for. Do a watch long that not many people are willing to do. But then I could do a watch long Brighton, Newcastle. But the reason people do watch alongs in the big games is because you're more likely to get people interested in watching it. So if I do a Brighton versus Newcastle watch along, do you expect people to watch that? But I'm speaking like I speak to my clients. Bamford has point to prove after England snub. Low-key shout maybe. Yeah, but Fulham have been so good defensively, and Leeds' attacking numbers are not as good as they used to be. So yeah, Duncan Veltman in for a -4. I'd probably just take 1 to be honest. If you can do Duncan for free, then that's probably the way that I would go. So yeah, it's a tight one. But if I could I'd rather just get 1. Captain will be on Kane for me, and I'll probably just do my 2 free transfers. I could take a -4, and do Cancelo or Diaz or Luca Dean. Now I don't really want to sell Dean that much because game week 30, Palace at home is a good fixture. I'll probably want to play him that game week. But yeah, we will see on that. Grealish back this week. We haven't had a press conference yet. I've got a sneaky suspicion that he won't play. He wasn't in the England squad because Dean Smith's told not all his players that I don't think they're allowed to travel. But then Watkins in it, so that can't be true. Yeah, not in the England squad would be a worry for me if. I wouldn't be confident that Grealish starts now. Not being in the England squad. Should I bring in Dunk even though I have Veltman? If it's for free, I think Brighton has the highest chance for clean sheets. So if we look at the fixture ticker on Fantasy Football Hub, it is ranked the easiest fixture from a defensive point of view. So yeah, Lingard and Kane, yeah, but I think this game week, if you've got more players out than the average person, then just Kane, because Kane will have 150% EO and Lingard will be under 100%. I know it's a shield pick, but it's the way that I'd be going. Son to Dele Alli. No, I don't love Dele Alli as a pick at all. There's better options for me, and it's a very 1 week punt. Whereas if you go the likes of Bale, they'll play week in, week out afterwards. Dunk, Trossard, Reguilon in, Stones, Cancelo, Salah out for a -4. The issue with that is I wouldn't want to be bringing in Reguilon. I don't know who starts tonight, to be fair, for Tottenham. Let me have a look. Is it Davies or is it... Let me just check. Okay, it's Ben Davies. Then I'd probably be fairly confident that Reguilon starts the weekend. But do I expect a Tottenham clean sheet? Probably not. I wouldn't be bringing in Reguilon for a -4. I'd do 2 of those transfers, but I wouldn't expect Reguilon to make up a 4-point hit, if I'm honest. And yeah, I probably wouldn't do the 3rd of those transfers. It's going 4 in the back from game week 30 onward. So you guys may have seen on my Twitter today, I posted basically a draft of what you could get in your game week 20, your game week 31 wildcard. Look at this. It was just a rough draft, and there are plenty of things looking back at it that I would change. Like there's no Leicester in here, Arsenal potentially, but like look at the squad depth. So I've got no Salah in here, but I've got like Fabianski, okay, Ruddy, okay, Patricia's going to be back, fair enough, but the defence, like Trent, Stones, Dallas, Shaw, Rudiger, all like really good picks. Rafinha, Jota, Son, Fernandes, De Bruyne, all really good, with Kane and Antonio up front. Like I'd have to bench 3 of these players every week. Like Davies, okay, sitting third on my bench every week, but then I've still got to bench 2 of them every week. And like I can just rotate the fixture that I like the most in my defence, and if 4 of them have got a good fixture, then great, I can maybe bench one of my midfielders or something like that. Like the strength you can get on a game week 31 wildcard, like just look at it, it's so good. Am I not watching the greatest evening, Simpy? How you doing? I'm keeping an eye on it, and I will watch the second half after the stream, but I'm just worried about Aubameyang's minutes, having got him ahead of game week 29. Why Stones ahead of Diaz? It was just a little bit of money saving, to be honest. He plays every second game. He seems to have more goal threat than Diaz a little bit. So best goalkeeper for the rest of the season. It's a tough one. We can have a look at the fixture. Let's have a look at the fixture ticker on Fantasy Football Hub from game week. It depends if you need them for game week. So like Southampton, okay, you're not really going to go with them. Spurs have good fixtures. City, Arsenal, like Leno. If you need them in game week 33, Leno is a really good one. Chelsea, of course, like Mendy. The reason that I'd go Leno potentially and then a Chelsea defender, because I don't think Mendy makes that many saves. Whereas I think Leno makes more saves, and the attacking threat, I think the combination is slightly better. Chelsea's fixtures in theory are not that great, but we know what they can do against anyone, which is why I've got Rudiger. Like, it means I can bench him in some of the tougher fixtures, which is, yeah. I mean, just looking at the state of that team, like you'd bench 3 of them instead. Would I get Bale instead of Son? It's something I'd consider. Again, when they get to the final stages of Europa, Bale I expect to be rotated more than I expect Son to be rotated. Son runs and runs, and I feel like he can play every game. Whereas Bale, if I see him start in the Europa, then that would worry me. So that's why, again, all these teams going late into the Champions League, you got to think about rotation more and more into the Champions and into the Europa League. Let me know if there's any action in any of these games. Is Aubameyang's playing up front, isn't he? Hope they get a nice early goal and they haul him off ready to start the weekend is what I'm hoping. So this is just a draft. Like, I'm wildcarding in game week 31, and I was just having a play around thinking, there's so much value in there at the moment. There's so much value. Like, if you drop Salah, for example, like, look at the defence that you can get. All are fairly reasonably priced, but Son's hamstrings, well, yes and no. Like, they proved he can't play game after game for 4 years or whatever he's done. But yeah, I still expect Son to play most games, more games and more minutes than Bale will. How far City is going in UCL? I mean, it depends on the draw. Like, if they get drawn Bayern Munich, I think Bayern and City are the best 2 teams in the competition. I expect them to win it. One of those 2 to win it. So I expect them to go to the final if they don't draw them before it. Is Odegaard? Let's have a look, shall we? So another great thing about Fantasy Football Hub is that you can have a look at set piece takers. So if I go set pieces, Arsenal, let me zoom out on this. Mopai on a free hit, a good idea. So if you haven't seen my Game Week 29 complete guide, which came out at the beginning of the week, go and check it out. I do have Mopai as a bit of a differential that I do like. So yeah, if you're on a free hit, I don't dislike it at all. Cool, so if I go per start, yeah, so Odegaard on some corners, some indirect free kicks. They haven't had a direct free kick really, so it's hard to tell who take them, but he's on some corners, some indirect free kicks, not on loads of set pieces. looks like he's played on the same games that Willian's been there, but yeah, he's on some of them. Do I think 8 players are enough for this game week? It depends, If Son's one of them, then it's likely to be 7, but I think 7, if you exclude Son, is still a good number. I think that's about the average. Average will probably be 8, I'd imagine, so you're only slightly under it. Who do I captain if I don't have Kane? So I like Antonio a lot. Probably my second pick is Antonio this game week. So yeah, that's probably where I'd go if you don't have him. Bale is still a good option, especially if he's rested. I don't know who's in your team, Devin, but who are your options? Would I go Odegaard or Pepe? Is Pepe starting? Yeah, then I'd go Odegaard. Simple as that. If I'm buying an Arsenal player now, it's ones that don't start tonight, really. Cool, guys. If you could just like the stream while we're here. We're on 80 viewers and only 30 likes. And of course, we are just 45 subscribers away from 4,000. So you liking the stream will get it shared out to more people. So yeah, if you want to help me get to 4,000 subscribers, just hit that like button. So yeah, that would be really appreciated if we could just bump it up to 50. Yeah, hit that like button. Don't leave it for someone else. Would I play Areola or Martinez? So out of the pair of them, I've got both. It's really tough. I just favouring Martinez out of the two of them. Vardy on your wild card. Yeah. I do want to see what happens, because I do wonder if we get a little bit of rotation. When Barnes, Maddison, Vardy, Iheanacho, they're all fit. I do question how they're all going to fit into that Leicester lineup. So yeah, that's my only worry is how do they all get in that team. They're not going to play all 4 every game, are they? And I expect Vardy to play to be in the first choice lineup, but to give him the occasional rest and play Iheanacho, it's not impossible. I still think he's a good option though. Yeah, Saka. Is Saka on the bench? Because Saka had an injury. Yeah, Saka's not on the bench. Saka was injured. And the fact that actually he's not on the bench isn't good news. I'd wait and see what Arteta says after the game, but I wouldn't be too confident with that, if I'm honest. Yeah, Saka injured, unfortunately. So yeah, at the moment I've got 8, 7 with Son. I've got 2 free transfers. He got England call up. That is true. I'd wait and see what's said after the game though, because sometimes they do that not fully knowing what the injury is. Smith Rowe, a good enabler. Yes, again, he is starting tonight, isn't he? Yeah, it's my only concern that, again, like on the bench, Odegaard should start now. Willian's not in the squad. Again, you'd expect him to start probably now. So, yeah, just those Arsenal players, Odegaard, no, Smith Rowe probably will start, but the fact that he started tonight, I'd wait and see what minutes he gets. Would I bring in Neto? I love Neto as a player, but I can't back a Wolves attacker at the moment. I think there's just better players. This is your transfer plan on -8 on top of like Dallas, Lingard, Bale, Kane are coming in. 2 of them are coming in for a hit. Willian is injured. Okay, fair. Then Smith Rowe's not a bad shout. Dallas, Lingard, Bale, Kane, all coming in. Like, if I look at each of them individually, to be fair, like, fine. If you don't, yeah, then I understand that -8. Yeah. Bale, Lingard, Antonio and Dallas all fit. Shall I bring him in? Bale, Lingard, Antonio and Dallas. So bringing in all of them. Again, like, I like bringing all of them in. Just for a -8, I don't expect it to be that high scoring a game week. So, but then I'm like, I wouldn't not bring in any of those players. So I'd probably have to go with it. Dunk for a -4. Again, it's a really tough one. Like, I'm in the same boat. Do I bring in Dunk for a -4 and increase my number of players playing by 1? Probably not, is the way I'm going. Duncan for Cancelo for -4. So I've literally got the same transfer on the cards. Would I do it? I haven't decided on it myself yet, so I feel like it's harsh to give you an answer. It's pretty 50-50. I'm pretty conservative as a manager, so I probably will shy away from doing it. Son and DCL out for Kane and Rafinha. Son and DCL out for Kane and Rafinha. Son and DCL, yeah, -4, yeah, fine. If we know Son is confirmed not playing, like not confirmed not playing. Yeah, it is essentially a -2, so even if he blanks, I'm only 2 points worse off, but if he does concede, then great. This stream is so calm, which attracts many viewers. It's actually lower in terms of viewers tonight than it has been in a while. Maybe that's because I've changed what day, but... Cool. Gundogan to Odegaard, no hit. Yeah, definitely would do that. Absolutely no reason not to do that. Gundogan, yeah, so yeah, I would do that. Not this week, they won't. Lingard and Bale are still relatively differential. They won't be as differential this week. They will see that spike in ownership. I don't play an instrument. I used to when I was younger, but not anymore. Dyer to Dallas and Sterling to Aubameyang for -4. Yeah, I would do that. Number one piece of advice for making transfers this game week. That's a tough one. I wouldn't just focus on this game week. Like the reason that I could go Lingard, and in a way I think Lingard is potentially a better option than Rafinha this game week, but you got to think future focused and which player you want. Like next game week, West Ham away to Wolves isn't good, but I'm bringing in Rafinha knowing that he plays at home to Sheffield United next week. So don't be blinkered by the blank game week is what I would say, and my piece of advice I'd give. Has there been a goal? No goals yet in any of the games, which is good for are Arsenal at home in this leg. Yes, they got 3 away goals. Yeah, Arsenal are not going through, are they? Are going through, I mean. Dyer to Dallas seems like a bit of a sideways move. Yeah, but is Dyer starting? Like, do we expect Dyer to start the weekend? It's, I probably wouldn't. I think Dyer to Dallas is a tough one. I probably won't expect Dyer to start this weekend, if I'm honest. So I probably would do that. I know it probably is an effective -4. Evening, Ahmed. Welcome. How do I rate Smith Rowe as a cheap 5th enabler option considering also plays Gameweek29? I do like as a cheap enabler. There's always going to be a slight risk that he doesn't start. But yeah, I do like him as an option. Bench boosting Gameweek30 with Forster, Target, Vestergaard and Watkins. Let's have a look at the fixture. So who is it? Forster, Southampton home to Burnley. Nice. Target, nice. Vestergaard. I probably would do that. You're hoping for Villa and Southampton easy wins, aren't you? But yeah, I probably would do that. But -8 is too big for a low scoring game week. Well, yes, but you've got to think about who those players are. Like if you do a -4 of Vardy to Kane this week, that's a good -4. But if you do to bring in a Villa defender, then no. So yes, a -8 I wouldn't particularly want to take, but you've got to look at the transfers in particular and who you're bringing in. I still have Aubameyang. Yeah, I'm hoping he doesn't play the full 90 tonight. Gives me a little bit of reassurance that he might start at the weekend. He played 87 last Thursday. He then didn't play at the weekend. How many minutes do I think he needs to not play tonight to start the weekend? He hasn't played that much football recently. So I think a lot of people are busy watching their teams play tonight, and that's why streamers karma. You like it this way? Yeah, happy to answer. Absolutely. There are only -2s if you're swapping someone out who doesn't play to someone who does. Yes, but if they don't return, you're still losing 2 points. Yes, you're not losing as many as if the other player played, but yeah. If Dunk blanks, then, yeah, I may well bring Dunk in. and increase my number of players playing. I think if you're increasing the number of players playing, then I can see why it's worth it. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it or not. What time is it? It's almost been live for 45 minutes. Yeah, I haven't quite decided. I'll wait and see, players come through tonight and everything like that. But do I think Forster secured number one spot? Yeah, I think so. He's not been good, McCarthy, when he did get his chances. So I would expect this weekend, game week 30 and onwards, that we see Forster for the foreseeable. Yeah. Plan on bringing in Kane. Should I take out Watkins or DCL? I would. I'd still... I don't know who, Everton. I can't advise to sell Watkins when he's got a blank game week. Yeah, it has to be DCL out for me, unfortunately. I think mine here is K because the players are bringing in. Exactly. You've got to consider, who you're bringing in. Veltman or White. Watkins or Antonio. Veltman, Antonio out of those two pairs. Play Lloris or Martinez. Probably Martinez because of the save points. I expect both teams to score. You have the wild card, so you don't need to worry that much. Yeah, exactly. You still got a bench boost. Should I hope and wait for the double game week in 36-7? I mean, yeah, there's not going to be a better chance to play it, so you may as well wait. And if it doesn't happen, then great, you can play it in a single game week, which is what you do anyway. So I'd wait and see if we get an announcement. I have no idea when they will need to decide that by. I don't know if it's game week 35 that we'll hear, game week 30 that we'll hear. I just don't know yet. You'll be looking to get rid of your Spurs, Villa and Leeds between 30 and 33. So I have my free hit and I'm planning on using it in 33. I have considered if I can get away with not free hitting in game week 33 and using my wild card sort of more strategically. We'll have to wait and see what happens, because if that big, double game week does happen and I can play my free hit in the game week that it is, that's massive. So yeah, I am considering, when I play my wild card, if I don't go heavy on, or I have, 2 City and 1 Spurs or something like that, and then bring them in afterwards, like game week 34, then I bring in, another Spurs player, and I've got 2 of each, then yeah. I think I'm considering managing my team without the free hit. Game week 34, you then want them back in because Spurs play Sheffield United, but then I can use my 1 free transfer to bring in a Spurs player. Like my game week 31 wild card, I could potentially have, another premium. I don't know who Aubameyang has, like Sheffield United, Aubameyang, Fulham. In theory, I could have Aubameyang for those 3 weeks and then sell him to Son, and then get Son in like that. So I'm considering not using my free hit in game week 33, saving it for the end of the season in case we get that big, double game week. What are my outside picks for this game week? So you need to watch my Gameweek 29 preview video from the weekend, not the one that's just gone up, the one from the weekend, and I talk about differentials in that, my top 5 differentials. So yeah, I'd go and have a look at that. Odegaard, Pascal Gross and Trossard are not in it. Now Odegaard I may put in it now if I redid it. Madja is in it, Lookman is in it, I can't remember who the others are now. Lingard, Dawson and Mopai, I think are the 5 that I had. Odegaard's a nice one now that I've seen that he's been rested. Molde are beating Granada. I don't know what the score on aggregate is. Aggregate score. Ooh, that is interesting. That. What's the aggregate score in all of these? 3-0 to Roma, so they're going through. Arsenal are 3-1 up, aren't they? And Spurs are 2-0 up. So City won't have a double game week unless they make... Yeah. But the thing is, and I think people don't quite understand my reasoning of having City on my wildcard is, like, Stones, for example, like, if he's on the bench, he just doesn't come on. He's made no substitute appearances all season, so I'm quite happy to own Stones. It's the attackers which are a slight concern more for me. Like, Gundogan doesn't get subbed on that much, but him and De Bruyne, if they're on the bench, you worry much more. So, and even Cancelo, like, he's only been subbed on once this season when he's been rested. So, I'm like, I'm quite happy to own these players, and because of the squad depth that we can have, you know, if Stones doesn't play, my bench will be like Shaw and Dallas some game weeks. Like, absolutely fine for Stones to have a week off. But I might have to wrap up my stream in just a moment. Hope you guys have enjoyed. We'll be live again tomorrow night. Why not Diaz? Because Stones seems more explosive. Like, I'd rather have Stones scoring 0-0-14 than Diaz scoring 6-6-6 because I'll know I'll have a strong bench. I expect Dallas to be fit. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't play. Cool, but anyway, I'm going to wrap that up there. We'll be live again tomorrow night ahead of deadline. So I hope you found this useful. Just a little bit of time I had spare. So Patricio out long term. I don't think so. Cody again. Wolves defense is a good option. Joshua, I appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you have subscribed as well. Turn on the little notification because I do like these live streams. I didn't plan that far in advance. Just a reminder, and my videos and stuff. We are 41 subscribers away from hitting that 4,000 mark, and I'm sure there's someone in the stream here who isn't subscribed. So if you just want to hit that one just to get up to 40 away, that'd be great. But have a nice evening, everyone. Watch the Europa League, watch United, watch Arsenal. Let's see how our players get on ahead of the weekend. As always, any questions, drop them in the comments down below or message me over on Twitter. My DMs are always open to answer your guys' questions. So yeah, I will see you all there. Thanks all, and have a good evening.